Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Finally.
Here we are.
Finally.
Here we are for episode 3. We got 2 cameras going. Which one do we look at? Do we look at?
I'm just going to look in a general that-away direction.
I'm going to look at the 12-pack of apple juice sitting back there at the desk.
Fair.
'Cause that's right in between them, so
Yeah.
nobody will know the
There we go.
difference. And then I'll be able to look longingly into the distance, and everybody will be like, "What is he staring at?" It's my 12-pack of apple juice sitting on my desk.
And the holiday, I can see the holiday coupon thing.
The holiday coupon.
Anyway.
Yeah, and the fridge. The fridge is right behind.
The fridge is
right behind, filled with plenty of apple juice.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while since we have been here.
Yeah. So first, welcome to episode 3.
Welcome back to episode 3.
It has finally happened.
It is happening. Actually, officially in progress at the moment in time of now. And we're here. So,
hopefully you had a good Christmas.
yeah, it was good. It was good. We had 2 weeks straight at home with my children, which was mostly awesome.
Yeah.
Mostly awesome. There were definitely some not awesome moments, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. I bet.
How was your Christmas?
It was good.
Were you up to?
It's good.
Yeah, I know you've been busy. That's one of the biggest reasons why we haven't
Busy,
had episode 3.
sick kids. You had sick kids.
Yeah, I had sick kids, and then there was the whole, we live in Minnesota, and an actual blizzard happened, and somebody doesn't have the best tires on their car.
Being rectified on Monday. We are recording this on a Saturday this time, so.
And it was, the roads are fine now. So
yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of outside interference, and we're good now. We're good.
We're good now.
We're good. So
we're good. We're here. We are.
Oh, and merriest of New Years to all of you, because now this is 2026.
Oh yeah.
Because
Happy New Year. Hope all of you fine people also had wonderful holiday season.
Yes. Hopefully all of your Christmases were wonderful and great, and you had a safe and wonderful New Year's as well. I did a whole lot of nothing because I was sick. So
yeah, we went to bed early on New Year's like we usually do, but we did watch the ball drop for
in Europe,
the East Coast.
Oh, East Coast. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we found a like free channel where it just went through all the different cities and all the different time zones of them dropping the ball, and it was like, okay, cool.
We can relive this moment.
It's 10 o'clock. Sweet. Happy New Year.
There we go.
Let's go to bed because we're old and tired.
Yeah.
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 That's life.
So good.
So what else? What should we talk about tonight? We talked about, okay, so far we have gone through, basically episode 1 was talking about who we are.
Yep.
And our experience and what we've done. And then episode 2 was a lot of talking about the differences between photography and videography and how much we don't know what we're doing here.
Right.
And we're figuring it out.
And we're figuring it out. Right.
So tonight, Justin's suggestion was that we talk about lenses and we talk about gear, like what specific gear we shoot with and why, and maybe that would be of interest to some people, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably, see some of the photos that you take or some of the shots that I've taken, and they're like, what is this guy shooting with? Like, how is he taking these photos? But also, what is he shooting with? Because at the base level, I mean, you can't take the same photographs without the same gear, right? So,
well,
that's a good lead into a subject of conversation.
It is. I mean, you.
Because like this guy
it's
right
more,
here.
It's more the.
It's more the lens.
It's more the lens.
Yeah.
It's more the lens
I was
necessarily
because this
than the
guy
body.
right here, I've taken some absolutely impeccable photographs with this camera, and this body costs like $100.
Right.
But it's because I throw, like a 50 millimeter f1.7 onto it, and then it takes impeccable photographs. What's on it right now is an 18 to 55 kit lens. It's going to be, it'll be better than a phone, but it's not going to be that great.
Right. It's not the 85, or it's not the 51.7.
Yeah,
right.
or an 85-1.8, or
Right.
yeah. So, all right. So, what is your favorite kit? And a kit being a camera body with a lens, right? And if you want to add a light to the setup, you can add a light to the setup. But at its base meaning, when we ask each other, what's your favorite kit? It's what body and what lens.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite kit?
So my go-to, whether I honestly, with everything that I do, it is the 85-1.8 and my Nikon Z8. That's my go-to. 99% of the time. In fact, I'm recording on the Z8 with the 85-1.8 right now.
Right now. Literally
right now. Just because of the fact that I love, and anybody, like if you actually ask photographers, generally speaking, what the best portrait lens is, they're going to tell you it's the 85.
It's usually an 85.
Right. Whether it's the 1.8, the 1.4, the 1.2. Honestly, I never saw the price jump to warrant that extra third of a stop, half a stop. Like, we're talking about like an 85-1.8. Brand new, a Nikon 85-1.8 for my Z8 is like $700.
Dang.
Right?
That's a spendy prime lens. Oh,
It
my
is.
necklace just fell off.
Wow. Crap.
Wow. I didn't do a very good job putting that on.
You
did
didn't.
I?
To put it into perspective, you can get an 85-1.8 used for, I don't know, normally less than $500.
Okay.
But
That's
then,
not bad.
but the reason I got it is because when I got into mirrorless, I eventually would like to adapt all my lenses and have mirrorless lenses, but that gets very spendy very quick considering the glass that I have. So I didn't want to buy an 85-1.8 in the F mount because
I'm really struggling.
I see that.
It's fine. Keep going. I'm listening.
Because I knew, because it just, to me, I want to eventually get rid of the adapters. Not that
It's fine. I got this.
Not that there's anything wrong with the F to Z adapters at all. I mean, they work great and everything like that. It's just, it's an extra piece, right? It's an extra piece I have to put onto a lens. Like my 70-200. Before I got my 85-1.8, my 70-200 was my go-to. I mean, just about any other portrait photographer has a 70-200 in their kit at some point. Like, literally.
Not everyone.
You do.
No, I don't.
You don't have a 70-200?
No.
Well, you're shooting Pentax, so.
Well, you should.
Anyway, but I mean, like, if you, like 99% of portrait photographers have a 70-2, it's the 24-70, the 70-2, and the 70-200. I never got into the 24-70s.
It's a great lens.
I'm either telephoto or I'm super wide.
See, the thing
And I mean,
that
super wide, like 20 mil, super wide. Like,
wouldn't
I will
say
not
that-
shoot anything. I barely use my 35.
So my favorite kit, not like necessarily my go-to per se, but my favorite would be my Pentax K1 and then my 77mm f1.8.
Yeah.
And the reason why, so Pentax's main prime lenses, instead of it being 35, 50, and 85,
Right.
it's 31, 43, and 77.
Right.
And that's to better match, like mathematically speaking, the actual size of the sensor.
Sure.
So when you're looking through, and I've shown it to you, when you're
Yes.
looking through a 77mm and through the viewfinder and you put that up to your eye and you open your other eye, what you're looking at is the exact same magnification and distortion and everything looks the exact same between both eyes. But what you have with that lens still is the bokeh effect and that pop that you get.
Right,
with an
that
85.
background separation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean that's my favorite for portraits is the 77. But it's like for the same reasons why you love the 85.
Right.
But like
The background compression on an 85 is
Yeah.
beautiful. If they made a 200 1.8, I'd probably have that too. Because the compression on a 200 mil lens, oh, it's glorious. They do make like a, what is it, the 200 f2. Probably not going to be spending, 10 grand on
I took
on
a few
that.
portraits of my wife when we were up on our camping trip with my 120 to 400, and that was nuts.
Oh,
That
at
was-
400.
That was it was probably at like 250 or 300, the range that I was shooting in.
And
when
that
I
was probably at like 5.6-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably.
But still, that
But still,
compression
yeah,
from the back.
it was
yeah.
gorgeous.
One of these days, I want to get my 600 out and do a 150, do a 600 mil portrait shoot. But God, I'd have to be pretty far away.
So, what is it about the Z8 that like just has you so like you love this body so much? What's the big thing with it?
Well, that's just mirrorless in general, really.
Oh, you're just trying to jump the gun onto the next subject.
No, I mean,
No.
the reality, it was the next.
So if it was a Sony mirrorless camera, would you be just as happy with it?
Probably. I actually, if I didn't have the money invested into the lenses that I already had, I probably would have jumped ship and either went Fuji or Sony when I went to mirrorless. But the problem is the amount of return that I would get for the lenses, like on trade-in and stuff like that. Like financially, no, that's not going to happen. But I love Fuji. I love the Sonys. They're great. And I thought about it, but I was like, there's no way. Financially, I just cannot make this work right now. The Z8 was really kind of the next step in my evolution because I started with a Z6. Then I got a Z7. And then I was like, both of those come with mechanical shutters
And these
and an electronic shutter, right?
Okay.
When you use the electronic shutter, it does not like LED lights.
Yes.
There's just something with that when they, whatever engineering is going on behind the scenes, silent shutter and LEDs, or electronic shutter and LEDs do not work good together. Now, I was really worried about that with the Z8 because the Z8 is a fully electronic shutter. And I kind of don't plan on ever getting rid of it because the reality of it is there are no mechanical parts really moving in there anymore. Because the one thing you have to worry about, like with an SLR and stuff like that, is you have the mirror and you have the shutter, and all of those are mechanical. And if they're not treated, like they wear out eventually. They are going to wear out.
I mean, eventually.
Eventually.
Very long eventually, though.
Well, it can be. I mean, it just depends on how much you shoot, right? Like if it really depends. With this,
It's a very long eventually.
it is a very long eventually, but like with the Z8, I don't have to worry about that now. There's literally the only thing that's going
Okay.
on. So anyway, but I was worried about it, and then I started doing some research into it. And they actually have two different ways to do your shutter speeds. They have the anti-flicker in them to help. But they also actually have a shutter fine tune that will actually fine tune your shutter speed in like tenths. It's crazy. So like instead of shooting 1/500th of a second, I'll be at 1/500.2 or 0.4, or you know what I mean? So like you can really dial in. So if you are getting some barring from the LEDs, you can really fine tune it where you don't.
I'm
So
going to take the tape off of here just so you can see how bad this thing is. Because I think you just have had bad experiences with cameras.
Well, I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. It's just
I'm
that
not gonna take that tape
I've had to
off,
get it.
actually, 'cause that's
I've
gonna
had
fall
to.
off. Okay.
It's just a common thing. Like a lot of people, like a lot of professional people,
Look at this guy.
like have to. Jesus, it's like a brick.
Yeah. So that, my friend, is a DSLR that has over 250,000
Shutter actuations.
shutter actuations.
Wow.
It's closer to 300,000. It's been all over the country, literally. It's been to Mexico. It's been in the ocean. Like, the body's completely worn away right here. The screen doesn't work anymore. The screen's totally dead. But it still works.
Yeah.
Just fine. I can actually basically just pretend that this thing is a film camera, because I still have my screen on the top.
Yeah.
And I still have everything in the viewfinder.
Yep.
But that's it.
Yeah.
But it still works.
Yeah. I mean,
And this thing's been through hell and back. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying about like the no mechanical parts thing, because that is one big benefit to mirrorless bodies. But also, it depends on the body.
it does.
You know, like a DSLR such as the Pentax K50 is absolutely nothing compared to a Nikon D850. You know, they're both DSLRs, but they're two
Right.
totally different
Yep.
cameras. You know what I mean?
Well, and with the DSLRs, the typically what you would see is the higher that you would go up in the chain, the more robust those systems were.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's like just those guys. That's within the same brand, and
Yeah.
this thing can't shake a stick at that guy.
Because I mean, like I think, like one of my, I think it was my D7000. You can feel free to fact check this. I don't remember, but I think like the lifespan of the D7000's shutter was like 150,000.
That sounds about right.
You know, somewhere in there. But I mean, but that's also depends. I mean, if you're using it professionally, you should be sending off your gear to get cleaned and upkept, right? Like, I mean,
I
that's
haven't done that in a while. Actually.
right. But I mean, like, that's a responsibility. You can choose not to, and you can, you know, it's up to you. But you know, it's one of those things. Like when you invest $5,000 in a camera body, it's maybe not a bad idea. Like, especially if you're making money, to send it off, be without your camera. That's why you
If
know
I'm
you
gonna
have a
spend
backup.
$5,000 on a camera body, I'm gonna throw in the extra couple of grand and go medium format.
You're getting off cheap then.
Like, honestly.
Fuji makes a really nice medium format for right around 7. I was like, I got really, I thought about going medium format, but no.
I was gonna say, you can get some really good used Leica bodies for pretty cheap.
Yeah, no.
Cheap for medium
I
format.
don't really,
But
I don't see the need for it for my workflow. That would just be a fun one, and the one that I would really want would be like a phase 1, and they're like 150 grand. So
yeah, no, I would either go Hasselblad or I would
Hasselblad or even more.
keep it in my ecosystem and go with the Pentax 645Z.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're making any more medium format, so it's kind of like, why would I spend that much money on a dated medium format kit? Because I can't adapt. That's the only Pentax body that uses a different mount.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I?
Yeah.
That's just silly.
So yeah, so I mean, it honestly was kind of the next step in the evolution, because I started with a Z6. Went to a Z7.
Went to the Z7.
Figured I went to a Z8. I didn't need the
Z8.
Z6. I didn't need the Z6 II or the Z6 III, the Z7 II, or anything like that, because other than a few minor tweaks, they were essentially the same camera, right?
Yeah, basically.
The Z8 was completely different. I love the fact that I can shoot like 30 frames a second. Not in RAW. It's in
That's just crazy.
JPEG, but like I can shoot. What does it max out? I can't remember if it's 15 or 20 frames a second in RAW.
That's crazy.
With a I think the buffer is 21 shots.
That I definitely don't have a great buffer in
Right.
the K1. I know that.
And then you use good compact flash cards, and it transfers them really damn quick. Especially like when I'm shooting dance performances. Like I did Nutcracker for Minnesota Ballet Theater in school, and then I spent 2 days and 3 performances shooting for Touch of Grace in Hutchinson. And between, just to put it into perspective, Minnesota Ballet Theater in school, it was 2 days, over 14,000 images.
14,000?
14,000.
That's dumb. That's a ridiculous amount of photos.
Touch of Grace for 3 days was another 14,000. So
That's
between those
insane.
2 days, now this goes back to my shutter. This goes back to my shutter and the mechanical shutter.
Because you're not having any of that wear and tear on the body.
Right. So between those two, that's 28,000 photos in a period of 5 days.
That's like 10 weddings for me.
Right.
That's nuts.
Did I overshoot? Oh, absolutely, I did. I did.
Yeah, you did. That's not even a question.
But the difference being is
You
that
can just go, and it's fine.
with the Minnesota Ballet Theater in school, I had never been to any of their performances, like the actual performances.
Okay,
right?
that's fair.
I was shooting in a brand
So you
new
didn't know what to
venue that I
expect.
didn't know what to expect from the venue. Their style of ballet, even though it's still ballet, is completely different than what I'm used to with the Touch of Grace stuff.
Yeah, so that's your thoughts on mirrorless.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on mirrorless.
What are your other thoughts on mirrorless?
It completely changed the way I shoot.
How?
Well, 2 ways. One, instant feedback. I know exactly what my exposure, depth of field, I know all of that stuff before I even click the button. Right? Now, there are some cameras in the DSLR market that do live view, which I think does the same thing. It's been a while since I've used a live view.
Yeah.
But I think that does give you... But with the electronic... it took me a while to get used to the electronic viewfinder. But now that I've used it, and now that I have that instant feedback, it has definitely sped up the photo taking piece of it. I'm not chimping on the back of the camera, looking to see, is this close, is this not? I don't look at my histograms really anymore. Because I don't need to, right? That was one of the things that with DSLRs, right? You take a picture, you look at your histogram, and you can kind of gauge where you need to be. Whereas this, I don't have to. It's just
I've never
blep,
really
done
that though. I guess I've never really understood that piece of like the instant gratification of like, yes, I got the shot. Like right away knowing, as you're composing the shot. I mean, my experience with mirrorless cameras isn't nothing. I think I've told you this. Like I
Right.
actually had Panasonic before they really got known in the game. They were some of the first mirrorless cameras on the market. It was basically this, except the lens didn't come off, right?
Oh yeah.
But it was an SLR. It had the exact same ergonomics, the exact same manual controls. You had a live view on the back. You had an electronic viewfinder.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of
zoomed the lens actually.
There's a lot of
It was
point
just
and
micro
shoot.
Four Thirds.
Right. There's a lot of point and shoots and a lot of micro Four Thirds that I guess could be considered close to basically that.
I mean,
To a
mirrorless really
mirrorless.
is just.
But
a camera
typically
that
they use
doesn't
like a
have-
CMOS sensor, which, those were developed for like security cameras and things like that. I mean, So
You
yes,
mean
there were
CCD?
some,
I
or
was gonna say,
CCDs.
'cause
Sorry, not
CMOS
CMOS.
is what all of ours
Right. No,
use now.
CCDs.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, there were kind of that, but I'm talking about like the full frame, or, you know, the DX cropped versions, right? Not a Micro Four Thirds, not a point and shoot, something like I'm
Right.
talking about like more professional level gear.
I don't know. I was never really, even, I mean, I learned on film, and the most that I ever had when I was shooting on film was you had your light meter in the viewfinder. And that was fancy. Man, if you had a light meter in your viewfinder,
Right.
that was a nice SLR camera, because then you could know, oh, I've got ISO 200 film speed. I've got a camera lens that I can drop down to 2.8. So, in this condition, I'm going to shoot, well, let's see, my light meter is at, 2 stops below what I have set to normal.
Yep.
So let's shoot at 160.
Yep.
And bam, you have the shot. You just, you learn those things and you just know it. And I never really, when I had that Lumix body and that instant gratification, like I know exactly what you're talking about when you're adjusting the settings, looking in the viewfinder, and you can see the settings changing the image, as you're messing with them. And it just felt like cheating to me. I was like, this is taking the thinking out of it. And like that just rubs me the wrong way, because like that's when I have that thought process going of lighting and settings and shadows and all of those things, and I can see what's being read out in my viewfinder. That's when my creative juices really start flowing, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do with this image? It's not, I see it all in my head. I'm not seeing it in front of my eyes.
Well, I mean, I still see the shots in my head, and then I just go, oh, yep, that's the shot that's in my head.
Right, but I don't know. For me, like, it's so much more gratifying.
It's not like, no.
When it's
No.
Yeah, and
No.
I've never really had that.
Yeah.
Like most of the time when I do my infamous one more, because I say one more time, like so many times to people.
One more shot,
Yeah.
one more shot. 8 shots later.
Yeah, it's usually because I'm either changing the orientation, so I'm
Yeah.
going from portrait to landscape, or somebody was in the background, I didn't like the shot, or I took the shot, and then I looked at the back, and then I went, I don't like my perspective. It's never really been a settings thing that I need to change. It's always been I take the shot, and then I look at the camera, and I'm like, let me try this instead. And you move and you crouch a little bit lower.
And see, that's why I like the mirrorless, because as soon as I take that shot, it pops up in the electronic viewfinder, and I can see it immediately without even having to take the camera down from my face. And then I can be like, oh, hang on a second, and I can take my 3 steps over this way.
That's fair.
It's a speed. To me, it's a speedier workflow, right? Because there are plenty of people out there that are rocking brand new mirrorless cameras that still can't take a photo to save their souls, right?
Yes, that is very true.
So I understand what you're saying about
nice Canon R5.
Yeah, there is a group on Facebook that I belong to, and I'm looking through the photos like, oh, I got my new camera for Christmas, and it's the Canon R5 or the Fuji X-T1, like one, whatever the number they're on or whatever. They're all these mirrorless cameras, and I'm like, so I understand what you're saying about it being a cheat code, but the reality of it is, if you still don't have the fundamentals, if you still don't have the knowledge of knowing what things are doing, it's still not you. There was you're still gonna struggle. There was this challenge, and it was Kai Wong had a YouTube channel. I don't remember, Digital Revolution, I think it was called, where they did professional photographers with cheap cameras.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I've
Like
also seen like the professional video versus amateur, and they give the professional videographer like a Canon Rebel T7i.
Right.
And then they give the amateur kid like a Red
Right.
cinematic kit. And then they're like, film the same thing and make us a commercial. And the dude with the Canon Rebel and the kit lens just blows away the other
Right.
guy because, you know, at a certain level,
it's a skill set.
hardware only gets you so far.
Correct.
You know, it's like you don't walk into a restaurant and you're like, oh man, this food is delicious. You guys must have the best ovens back there.
Right.
No, it's the chef.
Right.
You know, like
You still need that.
You need, yeah. I mean, like you need the tools to make it happen, and at the end of the day, that's all these things are. They're just tools for
Right.
us.
You have to know how to use it.
Because there are certain things within an art form that just can't be taught.
There are things, absolutely, 100%. I totally agree.
You know, like I couldn't for all of the years of my life on this earth, I could not teach somebody how to walk into a room and see what I see and how I see it.
No.
You know, like there's just no way.
No.
Because it's not like I don't think about it. You know, it's not like a conscious thing. It's just it's happening all the time. And there was a thing that I came across on Facebook. I think I shared it, and it was just this, you know, other photographers share words of wisdom, and you're like, oh yeah, that resonates with me too. And it was like people don't understand that, like, as a photographer, it's not like you just turn on the photographic eye and then you turn it off whenever you're not shooting. It's on all the time.
Yep.
You know, you are always composing and foreground and background and lighting and shadows. And I mean, all the time. I mean, when I'm driving, when I'm playing a video game, when I'm hanging out with my kids, when when we're sitting here and we're getting all of this stuff set up. It took us, what, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
And I already had the backdrop and everything pretty much good to go. It just took us that long with our cameras and, like, where do we want to, focus on and what angle and, like, how are we going to have the lights set up?
Am I going to use the 85? If I use the 85, what's that going to look like?
Yeah, and, like, we were deliberating all of this before we even put the gear together.
Right.
Before we even put the cameras on the tripods. We're already, like, envisioning all of this in our heads. And
I have this thing where it just...
And I feel like that's just one of those things that you can't teach people.
No. Like when I walk into shops...
It doesn't matter what kind of hardware you have.
No, it doesn't. But like I have this thing where I walk into shops and it's just completely... It's not even a conscious thing. It's all of a sudden like, oh, this should be at 1.8 at ISO 800 at 1250. You know what I mean? Like I'm analyzing the damn lights in the shop. Like,
right.
I know how I could shoot this like this. I could shoot this like this. And normally, honestly, I've gotten pretty good at that to the point where I'm probably within a third to a half a stop of being able to go, this is what I need to do.
See, and you've gotten me in the habit of, like, I'm always underexposing my shot. Well, what's funny is I used to underexpose anyway, and then I was like, I can underexpose more. That's fine. Just underexpose a little bit further. But, I mean, that's one of the benefits of, like, going back to, like, the hardware conversation of the difference between, like, a crop sensor and a full frame sensor is almost night and day.
Well, your signal to noise ratio is different.
Right, but the amount of, I can take a shot that's underexposed by 3 or 4 stops, and for people that don't understand what that means, 3 or 4 stops is like we would be completely dark right now in complete
about
shadow.
4 stops.
About 4 stops underexposed. Like very, very dark images. And a full frame image, you can bring almost all of that detail back. And you can still see it.
Yeah.
Like if I try to do that with a crop sensor camera, it's going to just be a crazy noisy mess. You might be able to, you can see, oh, there's people there, but you're not going to see a whole lot of detail in their faces and whatnot. That information, there's not enough physical space for that information to get absorbed. That's the big difference between, like, Micro Four Thirds and APS-C and full frame and medium format. Is just that physical amount
it plays into the dynamic range.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah, I've taken absolutely... Some of my favorite shots that I actually still have on my website, I took with that Lumix camera, and that was basically a micro four thirds. I think it was 12 megapixels. It was,
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
No.
But a lot of the weddings that I did when I first started out were with a crop sensor camera. Nobody would know the difference.
I lived on crop sensor for years.
Yeah.
Years. Nobody knows the difference.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a client ever ask you what kind of gear you shoot with?
Never once.
Neither have I.
Oh.
Not one time in the... Well, it's
Well-
2026, so I suppose I'm actually in my ninth year.
Maybe out of curiosity, they'd be like, "Oh, what are you shooting with?" And
2026.
they want a Nikon or a Canon
Right.
or whatever. This is 2026.
2026. Ew. We're getting old. I don't like that. I started my company in 2017.
Yep.
I'm like, wait, that was 9 years ago? Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. But I mean, out of curiosity, there's been some people that have asked me, but partly because it's been, they had somewhat of an introductory knowledge into photography and kind of were dabbling in it. But I've never had like a professional level client. Like I do a lot of headshots. I've never had one of those clients go, "Oh, well, what kind of camera are you using?"
Yeah, they don't care.
No.
The only times that I've ever had anybody ask me ever is literally, what brand is that?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Right.
That's it. It's never been
It's a curiosity thing, not a
Yeah. There have been a couple weddings that I've done where there's a random person in the wedding or like somebody in the bridal party that actually is also a Pentax shooter. And they're just like, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
you shoot with Pentax too." And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's like a unicorn. You never see these people."
Yep.
Like, they don't exist.
And that goes out to, and this goes into, if you have somebody that is asking you what you're shooting with, and that's going to be a decision that if they're going to hire you or not, you might as well just walk away from it.
Yeah.
Because the people that ask that question will have no idea what that question means.
Do you want to know one of the biggest reasons why I love this camera so much?
Yeah.
Hold it.
Because it's a ton. It weighs
No,
a ton.
like put it in your hand.
I've put it in my hand.
Not the right way. Isn't it beautiful?
No. I'm too used to mine.
It's so like it's like a glove. Like
No.
you put your hand around it,
It's
and it
not.
just fits perfectly.
It's not. I don't like it.
Why?
It doesn't feel good in my hand.
Why not?
I don't.
It looks like your hand
I
naturally.
don't actually. There's this
likes
big.
it a lot.
There's a big gap between there, and I'm not used to that. My Nikon, like.
See, I'm like, I have. big
After this
hands,
is
and
done.
This thing is.
After this is done, I want you to go feel the grip on my Nikon.
I've shot your Nikon. Do you not remember the funny?
Oh wait, no, we did. Yeah, at the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've shot your Nikon.
That eye tracking, you were all like, "This is nice."
Well, and also when we were at the holiday market, I took your camera for a little bit.
You did take my camera for a little bit.
I don't remember where you were at that point.
I have
but-
no idea where I was either because I was going through photos of what the where what?
Yeah. Yeah, the eye tracking of your camera actually kind of like
There it is.
was a bit much for me. Man, we're not getting a whole lot of places with this.
So anyway, we were talking about that eye tracking is pretty intense.
Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
When we're sitting at the bar and it's tracking the eyes of somebody that's not the next table over, not the table over from them, but the table behind that table.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And it took Nikon a little while to get there. Actually, Sony and Canon's eye tracking was so much better than Nikon's first iteration. But now they've made changes and they've updated things, like they're all pretty
See,
well
when
on
it comes to
par.
that crazy autofocus though, like I love the idea of never missing a shot.
Oh, dude, you still miss shots.
But
I
also
would just say that you miss less.
well, the thing is there's so I've had a love-hate relationship with Pentax on this subject specifically because the autofocusing system of the K1 is super outdated. I mean, this camera came out in 2016, right? It's 2026. It's 10 years old.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was dated. It was a 2012 autofocusing system competing against, the D850 was out at that time.
Right.
And the D850 was using a hybrid autofocusing system.
Yep.
And there was times that I remember texting my wife that I missed this shot because my camera couldn't catch focus fast enough because it was too dark.
Right.
And that really frustrated me. But also on the flip side of things, there have been I literally couldn't count how many photographs that I have taken where I thought it was in focus and it wasn't in focus.
Yep.
We call them happy accidents.
Yep.
Right? And some of those photographs are some of my favorite photos.
Yep.
And the one cherry on top of that note was walking into a client's house and seeing that photo printed on their wall. Of the 150 photos that I delivered to them, that was the one that they printed the largest and put on their wall. And if it had been completely sharp and in focus, would it have
Stop pixel peeping.
Stop pixel peeping.
If it looks good at 50%, you can print it out. That's my rule of thumb. It might be slightly out of focus.
200%.
I don't even look.
Make sure.
You can count the pores on people's skin.
I want to see every single individual eyelash on their face.
No, 50%. That's my threshold. If it looks good at 50%, it gets kept.
Every shot needs to be completely in focus. F11, sharp as possible.
Okay. You keep doing you, boo.
God. No, the only time that I've ever intentionally gone to shoot at F11 is for increased shutter speeds or what do you open? I've only been recording for 5 minutes.
I know. Well, we'll know. But, I mean, we're kind of getting up to the hour episode anyway because that was 2 25-minute things.
Well, yeah, but we went on for 30 minutes on one subject. That's why I was I think we need to speed along the conversation
We
here,
do.
Because we
dang.
spent 30 minutes just talking about mirrorless and autofocus and 15,000 shots and dance pictures.
Jesus, yeah.
So, I think moving into the differences of mirrorless versus I shoot with SLR, for example. I just came across a post on the Ask Photography sub on Reddit the other day. And it literally, one of the top posts in the last month was, who still makes DSLR cameras? Because I don't want mirrorless. I want a DSLR body. And it was well, you have two options. Nikon still makes the D850, so you can look into that.
Yep.
Or you can buy Pentax, because they are literally the only other manufacturer that
Canon
makes...
still has their entry-level...
Oh, the Rebels?
The Rebel
right.
series.
This was someone that was looking for,
Oh.
more than just an entry-level camera.
Okay.
And it was just really interesting, all of the different comments that people were talking about and why they still shoot with their Nikon D810 and why they still shoot with their, Canon 5D Mark IV. And it's literally because they don't want to go into mirrorless, and then they have this, here's all the reasons why I don't want to go into mirrorless. And some of them were just so pompously stupid. And I'm
God, yes.
I'm just dude, why? This is the dumbest reason to not go into a mirrorless body. I have my own personal reasons why I don't want to, and I didn't see any of those on there, so naturally I thought their opinions were dumb.
Right.
But
yes.
But my reasons why I don't have any desire to get a mirrorless body whatsoever is because, like I said, it feels like you're cheating. The camera's doing so much of the work for you.
Oh, no, sir. No,
and
sir. No,
and it's
sir.
it gets to a point where you just press a button. That's literally... So, I know that you were shooting in manual and your settings were already set, but when we were at the Renfest market, the holiday market, and I grabbed your camera and I was taking just piss around shots, I was like, yep, that'll be in focus. Yep, that'll be in focus. Yep, that'll be in focus. I wasn't even looking through the viewfinder.
Right.
I didn't even And I just straight up, I was like, it's fine. It's mirrorless. It'll be in focus every single time.
And that's a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing.
That's cheating?
For you. For
the thing
me,
of it is you can do the same thing you can get a rough idea on your SLRs. It's just you've got to push a button to do it.
So like,
excuse me, because you have the depth of view preview button.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Well, okay. So when I'm shooting in live view, how it works is it basically puts the camera into a mirrorless state, right?
Oh, it just lifts the mirror up.
But when I go to take the picture, it has to close the shutter back down.
Yes.
Put the mirror back down, and then fire it mechanically.
Correct.
I can shoot with an electronic shutter and just leave the mirror up,
Yeah.
but then I run into the same flickering problem
Yeah.
with LEDs and lights and stuff. But there's a delay. There's just the slightest delay.
That's the
And-
difference between getting a shot and not getting a shot.
Right, but that's also the difference between like live view versus mirrorless, right? Because mirrorless, it's just instant.
You're not selling the DSLR thing very well.
No,
are you?
my thing with the DSLR is when I'm looking through the viewfinder, and I've talked to you about this
Yeah.
before. People just haven't heard us have this conversation.
No.
But when I'm looking through the viewfinder, that's my eye actually looking through my glass.
Correct.
And exactly how that glass is designed to compose
Same thing with
the
mine.
image, but you're looking at a screen.
That's looking through the glass.
Right. There's that detachment though. Like there's you're looking at a screen that's displaying the image. With a DSLR, there's no detachment from the process. Your eye is just
like
seeing straight through the glass.
Well, I hope that exposed properly.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I hope that's in focus.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Like trying to manually focus on an SLR
Oh, I manually focus all the time.
sucks.
No, it's beautiful. It's so amazing because I trust my eye manually focusing better than I trust the autofocusing system of my K1.
I don't.
And it has, I've proven that this method is so effective so many times because every single time that I'm at like the latter half of wedding, for example, and it's like the first dances and the speeches and you know all of the things of the night are going on, I'm in manual focus the entire time.
Oh.
So one piece of advice that I was given when I was a teenager, and I have given this a few times, and if you're watching this and I've given you this piece of advice, I hope that you're still shooting. But once you go manual, like full manual, and I don't mean manual settings, I also mean manual focus. Never go back. There's no need to. It's a fallback every time.
No, I jump back and forth.
So like one of the things I love with my K1 is when I'm shooting in manual focus and I have my autofocus grid just set to autofocus wherever, or I set it to spot focus, you know, if I want it to be at center or over here or whatever. When I'm manually focusing and I'm holding my AIF button, it'll tell me when that spot is in focus. Or if I'm manually focusing in a full auto grid, it'll light up, you know, all the little red dots in my viewfinder and be like, oh yeah, that's in focus, that's in focus, that's in focus, that's in focus, that's in focus. But I'm manually focusing the whole time. So it's like I get the best of both worlds. I get the best feeling and like for me, and this is just one of our differences, right? Because like for me, the thought process, you know, like I was saying before, like that's when my creative juices really start flowing. So when my camera's in my hands, and I have this thought process going, and I don't have a lens on right now. Let me just swap things out here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when I have a camera in my hands, and I have my dials here, and I have my shutter button here, and I'm controlling all of these things while I'm moving the lens and focusing the lens, like all of these physical movements are helping my brain just work even better. So like it just helps me get more in the zone when I'm shooting. Like
that's, and I'm not trying to detract from that. I'm just saying,
there's
like,
a battery. There's a memory card in here. Whoa, would you look at that?
to me, I'm a little bit of the opposite spectrum because if I'm not worried about focus and I'm not worried about that stuff, that gives me the opportunity to spend more time creating.
I can understand that.
Right? Like if
that makes sense.
if I know, and autofocus is not 100% accurate. We know that. It's 98-ish percent.
Like that old screwdrive autofocus?
Ooh, yeah.
The nice old mechanical
Yeah.
shutter.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I know that I can flip my camera to hit eye focus and it's going to nail it 98% of the time, that gives me the reassurance that
It's so dark.
weird thing, like if I decide to try something weird or different or outside of the box, that the camera is still going to grab that focus and I don't have to worry about, am I, half a millimeter off on my focus and this is going to turn out a little bit soft. I mean, it still does anyway, just because of the fact that that's the nature of the beast. Because if you have any little bit of movement, that's going to cause your focus to be shifted a little bit.
Well, yeah,
But
and
so
that's
for
why you got to
me-
learn.
For me, it's yes, the camera's doing a lot of the heavy lifting as a little bit more. It's not even that the camera's doing the heavy lifting. I'm still manually changing all of my settings. I refuse to shoot aperture priority, shutter priority. I will never, ever. I am 100% manually into it, right? So I'm manually changing my ISO, my aperture, my shutter speeds all the time. But it's just one thing that I can take out of the equation to simplify my workload. So if I know that 98% of the time when I put that camera up to my eye and it's going to grab my subject's eye and it's going to focus and it's going to be
Then
sharp,
you can worry about the other things.
I don't, it just frees
and
up
that makes
more
sense.
space for me to be able to be creative.
Well, and that's why I love having this conversation, is because we are so
And believe me,
about it, because
yeah,
like
I definitely needed that at Fest this year.
I can understand I can understand your perspective, but that's not how my brain works, and that's probably not. I'll shoot on DSLRs for as long as I possibly can,
Which is fine.
And I feel like
You're wrong, but it's fine.
But
just kidding.
I mean, really, what I need to happen is I need Pentax to release a full frame body that has an updated autofocusing system, because the autofocus on my K3 is nuts, and that's just a hybrid autofocusing system.
Right.
Like I could get that out of a D850, but it's crazy to me that I can be looking through my lens, right? I can be looking through the viewfinder, and it has eye detection. It has face detection. It has all of the hundreds of autofocusing points and all of that, but I'm still able to look through a viewfinder. That to me is like perfect. Like that's all I ever want, and that's all I ever need. And like this body, this is a 10-year-old camera body, but I mean the images are still fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it's 36 megapixel full frame sensor. It's like, it's kind of like with video game technology. Like it gets to a certain plateau, and then it's like, well, what kind of improvements can we make from here? I suppose we add a couple little bells and whistles onto the base, but what else? Where all do we go from here? It's not like the early 2010s when cameras were changing every.
And they were
like
leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, everything's kind of. You're right. Everything's kind of settled at this point. I can shoot up to ISO million something, I think, on that camera. I don't remember.
Yeah, mine goes
Would I
up
ever?
to
No.
512,000.
Oh.
I'm not doing that.
Maybe it's 512,600 or something. I don't remember. Highest I ever pushed it is 64.
Yeah, no, I've
6,400.
I've gone up to 12,800 in certain situations, because I'd rather have a noisy shot than no shot at all.
Well, and now with like Lightroom's denoise and some of that stuff, like you can shoot those high ISOs and it does. Is it as sharp as it would be? No, it's not. But You can remove the noise.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of my thing with DSLR though, is like I said, you know, when I walk into a room, you can't just turn it off.
No.
You're always composing and
Yep.
And so bringing something up to my eye that's just letting me see that composition in real time, you know, it's not.
But the thing of
I don't know why I hate the screen thing so much.
I don't know
really
either, because
drives me
it's
nuts.
still
I
the
really
exact same
don't like
thing.
it. I'm looking through glass.
So am I.
No, you're not.
I'm looking at a screen that's looking through my glass.
You're looking through a glass piece that is displaying a tiny little screen that is showing the display from what the sensor is showing.
Yeah.
Whereas what I am doing is I'm looking through a pentaprism that is going down to a mirror that is going straight through the glass.
Right.
And then I set the camera's settings, and then when I hit the shutter, it opens up the mirror, opens up the shutter, takes the shot, closes it.
And then you accidentally underexpose by 4 stops.
Okay, that was a mishap of camera settings, not a mishap of me. That, like, I thought I had changed my camera settings and I didn't.
I know, but see, again, if you'd have a mirrorless and you, oh, crap, yeah, I'm like underexposed by 4 stops.
But I'm shooting with pro gear.
Yeah, you
and
saved
I have
it.
pro
I mean, you did. You
experience,
saved
so
it.
It was fine.
But you had to edit that photo in order to save it.
Yeah, I mean, but I did purposefully underexpose the shot.
Well,
because I would have
not
had to
4
edit
stops.
it anyway. No, not 4 stops, only 2. So it was an extra 2 stops. But I mean, the idea was already I'm going to edit this shot.
I understand
so, like,
that, but
yeah.
it would have.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't have happened if I had been shooting mirrorless. But also, then I wouldn't have been able to post it on Facebook and write a big educational post about it and admit that I make mistakes too sometimes.
Oh,
And,
I admit all the time
you know,
that I
like,
make mistakes.
Our client, Sarah, she loved that post. She thought it was great.
Yep.
I was like, thanks. I'm glad that you appreciated that I can admit
Like, well,
that I effed up. And it was
believe
fine.
me, I F up all the time. I don't necessarily always put it out into the world that I F up all the time, but there are plenty I cannot tell you.
I'll put it out into the world. I F up all the time.
And I'm telling you, every single shoot I've done, I've effed up something.
Everyone.
Every single one.
Now everybody's going to be questioning things.
I will admit it.
What did he F up? Was it me? He said everyone. What was it?
Maybe slightly out of focus on a shot. Maybe underexposed just a little bit on the shot. I mean, I do light everything. Maybe I needed that extra tenth of
But you're on mirrorless, shouldn't you?
But
you
see,
have the instant feedback.
it doesn't work when you're using lights.
Okay.
So
we're in the same situation there.
So when I'm using lights, it does not. It actually levels the entire playing field, and I cannot tell what the background is going to look like right away. Well, I mean, I can because I grew up on I grew up on DSLRs, right?
Right.
Like,
so you know.
yeah, so I know. But I mean, it will not tell you if you have a speed light on top of your camera, or if you're using off-camera flash, you cannot, without actually physically turning off the flash setting on the camera, it will not show you what your background is going to be, what your background exposure is going to be. So it just makes...
So we're in the same playing field there.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The only... I've found workarounds for it. So before I even set up my light, I don't even turn the flash on or anything like that. And I'm like, this is what I want my background to look at. So I expose for the background, turn on my light, and then shoot and go, okay, light needs to come up or down. So I actually expose for my background first, and then I expose for my subject after.
I just realized I'm doing it backwards from you.
Could be.
I'm pretty confident I am. That's really funny. I always dial in my light first.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
I dial in my light. Usually takes maybe 3 shots maximum. Usually 2.
I always dial in my background.
I'll dial in my light, and then I'll put my camera settings around that instead of vice versa.
I do it background first.
That's funny. Well, because most of the time when I'm shooting with a light and I'm doing that, it's because I'm moving, to different situations. So I want to dial in my light for being outside in the sun. And then we move indoors. And it's like, okay, I need to change my light again. Yeah, let me figure that out. That's interesting, though, that we do it backwards.
Yeah, I always start with my background first. What do I want with this background? Do I want it dark? Do I want it light? Do I not? What do I want to do with it?
I'm going to try it that way next time. Yeah. Next time I'm in the studio, which will actually be on Tuesday. Yeah.
Might be something there.
Might be something there.
I found it was less frustrating for me to get my background right first.
And then to add
the people. Yeah.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
So,
wow.
I think that's about it.
This has been
This is going to be a little bit longer one. But
lovely episode about nothing.
Yeah.
We talked about mirrorless.
We did.
We talked about a lot of pictures. We talked a little bit about what we shoot with, some of our favorite gear.
We have the Nikon side over here now, finally, because Pentax side over there, Nikon side over there.
Yeah,
I have to bring my Z7 to put.
I was gonna say, I think maybe next time you just bring all your gear and I'll bring all mine, and then mine would eat yours. It would cover this.
You have a lot.
I have a lot.
I have downsized considerably.
I have not gotten rid of anything ever.
I have decided that I'm either telephoto or I'm super wide. I don't live in
I've
in
literally
between.
never gotten rid of a single piece of gear that I own.
Yeah.
Ever.
I do.
And I've been shooting for a long time.
I have sold so many different bodies and lenses and stuff like
I
that
have
over the
3
years.
glass cabinets filled with gear.
Yeah, no.
I don't use all of it anymore.
No.
I've downsized down to maybe 5 to 7 lenses at the most.
The kit, if I'm doing a senior shoot, right? This kind of goes back to the kits. I have 2 lenses with me.
1.
I have an 85 and I have a 20 mil.
24 to 70. That's all you need.
No.
You have 1 lens,
Nope.
1 body, 1 light.
Don't like the focal lengths.
That's all you need.
You want to know why?
24 is wide enough.
Nope.
70 is good enough.
Nope. You want to know why?
Why?
Because everybody shoots in that focal range.
Yeah, that's why they're good photos.
I want to change things.
That's why they're good photos.
If you see my...
If you want to take great photos,
oh my God.
shoot with a prime.
Yeah.
Shoot with a prime. If you want to take good photos, 24-70, f2.8, fantastic. Everybody makes them.
Yeah.
But if you want to take great...
You ever seen my 20 mil shots that I've done?
Yeah.
There's just something about that focal range. It's just that distance, that 20 mil is just like... There's the distortion on it and stuff like that. Like, it's fun.
Have I shown you shots from my 14?
I have seen the shots from my 14.
I love that 14.
But I'm either telephoto or I'm super wide. I don't live in the in-between. My hat.
So after we lost a little bit of conversation due to...
Only about 5 minutes.
Only about 5 minutes conversation.
That's okay.
It was a decent 5 minutes.
It was.
But we were talking about portraits.
We were talking about how there's no way to tell between a mirrorless, a DSLR. Like, you can't look at a photo and go, "Oh, that was taken on a DSLR," right?
No.
Like
we
you
were
said,
really getting into differences of
yeah.
What we'd like to shoot with.
But and you mentioned too, like, we've shot weddings together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway, I think, for me, was the fact that you're shooting on a Nikon Z8, which is a crazy expensive, flagship.
Well, not anymore.
Full frame mirrorless
It's not
body.
flagship.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. Z9 is.
Now.
No, the Z9 has been.
Well, okay. Whatever.
Anyway, upper echelon.
But the fact that we shot weddings together and we've delivered photos to our clients and they haven't except for the fact that they know, hey, you're with the groom and I'm with the bride, or you're here and I'm over there.
Yeah.
That's the only time that they would ever know that the pictures are from different cameras.
Correct.
Otherwise it's like, I guess if you want to zoom in and look at the pixels of the eyelashes, you might be able to tell the difference. But
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's just file size, really. Because
Yeah.
I have a 45 megapixel, you have a 36.
yeah.
Right,
And
so-
I mean, but like I've pulled your images in a Lightroom and put them side by side with mine and Pixel Peep.
But
and
I
it's
also
like,
resize mine 65%, typically.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Well, actually, the RAWs, I send you the RAWs.
I was going to say.
Yeah, no, yours aren't.
I hope you're
Never
not
mind.
resizing
No.
the
The ones I deliver, to the clients, just for space.
Well,
sake,
yeah, because otherwise they're not going to be able to use them because the files are going to be freaking
they're huge.
huge.
Yeah.
They'll be like, thanks, Justin.
Anybody that says you need a 45 megapixel camera to make big prints, you don't.
No.
I have resized all of my images since going to full frame 65%, and I've got 24 by 36 inch prints hanging up in the hospital in town. So
Yeah.
that is not accurate.
Yeah. Like I've had clients reach out to me and they'll be like, is this a large enough resolution for my pictures? And I'm like, yes, I guarantee that it is, because I have prints that are wall sized that are that exact same resolution, and it'll be just fine.
Megapixels has nothing to do with cameras, like quality settings at all. It has nothing to do with that.
No.
Megapixels is just how big your image.
Yeah, and
is.
really what it boils
Pixel
down
dimensions.
to in the whole
Anyway.
and what I would hope to summarize with our outro for this episode is I hope that with our bickering back and forth, mirrorless and DSLR, like it really comes down to a personal preference. My personal preferences are my personal preferences, and yours are yours, and that's totally fine. Because at the end of the day, nobody can tell the differences between our photographs except for
us,
like the artistic elements of them. When you look at a photograph and you're like, oh yeah, Justin Basinger took this shot,
right?
Or yeah, Joshua Kerwood took the shot. You don't know what I took that with, or what you took that with, unless we talk about it.
I could do the exact same thing that I'm doing with my Z8 on Josh's Pentax.
Yeah.
And it would look exactly the same as what I'm outputting on my Z8. Again, it's a tool.
Right. You just have to learn
It's a tool.
how the different tools are different from one another.
Right.
And figure out which one.
But I mean, all I need to know, maybe that should be something. Maybe I should take some photos on the old Pentax ones, right?
That could be fun.
And just kind of prove a point.
We could go on a little photo walk and swap bodies and.
All I need to know is how do I change ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. That's it. I don't need to know the rest. Anyway.
The other thing that we forgot or lost in our 5 minutes was, so we are doing a giveaway. We announced this with episode 2. We are announcing it also with episode 3 because we'll have 2 different pools.
If you commented from episode 2.
Yep, you're in one pool of people that we'll pick from.
Yep.
And if you comment on episode 3, you'll be in a separate pool of people that we'll pick from.
Yep.
So what we are doing is we are giving away a photo session with both of us. And what that means is you'll be able to come to the studio or outdoors if we decide on doing it in the summer or something like that.
Whatever you decide, actually.
I guess whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah.
And you'll have the opportunity to shoot with both me and Justin for a little bit. And then we'll get to take those photos and bring them into a later episode and really kind of flesh out some of the differences of how we shoot and
why we shot this way. And
how you got this composition and how I got this and how you got that lighting. And
just the why behind it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, all right.
So
I think that's episode 3.
I think that's episode 3.
Again.
I think that was a little more streamlined than the last one, too.
Yeah,
we do tend to ramble.
That was good. We do tend to ramble.
But
yeah, this episode might be a little longer. Yeah. But I don't think anyone will really complain about that. Because if you've made it this far, then you like listening to us talk, I guess.
I have gotten some positive feedback that people really enjoy having us in the background.
Well, that's good.
And playing.
I was told by one person that we're really good for when they're doing laundry.
Oh.
They like to listen to us when they're doing their laundry. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm glad.
So,
you know,
yeah.
if we can help you pass the time while you're folding your clothes and whatever, and you want to listen to a couple of pirates talk about photography.
That's my way to get into your knickers. Wow, that was uncalled for.
I think that was
funny.
pretty called for the Minnesota Pretty Pirate.
Right. So,
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And fine folks, we
Thank you.
will see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
And we promise that it will not take us 3 months to get to the next one.
Yeah, it's not going to.
No.
We'll get our crap
We have
together.
plans.
Yeah, we'll
It's
figure
just
it out.
life.
Yeah.
All right.
Life and things. All right. Where did mine? Yeah. Cheers. Okay.
Cheers.